Welcome to the wedding category of the Epson West Australian Professional Photographer of the Year Awards. This category is sponsored by Nikon. My name is Janet Craig and I'll be the panel chair this afternoon. Now, let's see, we've got a host of fabulous judges joining us today on our panel. We have Anna Blackman from Sydney, Peter Hassan, Steve Wise, Rebecca Johansson, Diane D. Ray, Erica Serena, Nathan Madigan, all master photographers and all ably suited to be judging our wedding category. There's silence in the TAFE and a coffee for the panel chair. It's a happy day. Okay, as we read the category preamble, and we're just sorting our coffees. This is important business. But we all do need to listen to the category preamble because we need to know what rules the entrants were. So ears forward. Everyone's listening. E is for wedding photography that represents industry practice, including, but not limited to, creative posing, photojournalism, post-production, storytelling, and image presentation. The wedding category will be judged in two sections: wedding open, wedding single capture. The category is judged in two sections to assist the judges in their assessment. However, there is only one award. Entries into this category must be commissioned. Entries must be captured during or on the day of the client's actual wedding or civil union. The only exception is to accommodate cultural differences when the wedding runs over consecutive days. Second shooters who have been contracted by the main photographer and all the subjects may enter their images, providing they have retained the copyright or usage rights for the images. Second shooters must have the permission of the main photographer to enter the images. Second shooters may not enter an image where the main photographer directed or posed the subjects. Polytics, diptychs, triptychs, etc. are permitted in both sections. Okay, now, as for the wedding open, entrants may utilise all post-production techniques, including multiple images or elements, in producing their entry. If several photographic elements are used, all the elements must have been taken at the same wedding or civil union, with the exemption of borders and textures. Understand that? Got it. Wedding single capture. This section is intended to reward technical and creative excellence in photographing and presenting an authentic representation of a scene without the benefit of creative compositing techniques. I just love that, composting. Yeah. Anyway, this is single capture. Back to the point on hand. Photojournalistic images may be suited to either the single capture section of the wedding category or the documentary category if they conform to the category rules. Do we get that? Photojournalistic images may be suited to either the single capture section of the wedding category or the documentary category if they conform to the category rules. All right. Okay, so we're clear on the rules. Let's get started. Okay, are we ready, judges? Yes. Okay, let's have our first print, please. Oh, yes. Now, this is the wedding open category that we are judging. Wedding open. Oh, entry has scored 80, a silver award. Okay. Any of our judges want to offer a comment for the entrant? Peter, thank you.
Yeah, I thought this was just a good solid silver, so I just awarded it a good solid silver. It's a nice capture from overhead, obviously by a drone or a chopper or something, but the one glaring thing to me is if you want to carry this on to APPA or something like that, the paperwork on the table over there is very glaringly takes me to it, so I just knock that down a bit and what have you. But apart from that, it's a nice image and it's just a solid silver.
Just a solid silver, hey? Well, I'm looking for just a solid silver. Oh, congratulations to the entrant, and it is a solid silver, and yeah, well done. Okay, next print, please. We're judging the wedding open category. Pete? Okay, entry has scored 82, a silver award. And we have a challenge from Peter Hassan. Just make it a bit snappier in future, Peter. Getting your score and get your hand up. But I'll accept your challenge and I'll let you know that you do have someone, bit of company here with Rebecca is 85. And then you've got a few people, 78, 79 and an 82 to work with.
78, 79. Okay. To me, I really like this. There's a lot happening in this image. The only reason I wasn't going higher is the interaction between the bride and groom. Needed something more, but all the elements are there, and I think this is well and truly up into the silver distinction range. I'm not asking for a gold or anything like that, but yes, I just like the way it's been handled. You know, printing wise, it's up there. Okay. I love the flow. I love the fastness. I love the way it sort of takes you in and leads you up out the back, and it just drops you back down to these people at the front all the time. I think it's very clever. So I think if we read our rules where it says silver distinction, professional excellence, okay, superior, superior visual impact and everything like that. I think it's got it all. I do really think it is a silver distinction and not a silver.
Okay, Anna, you were kicking around the 78 mark.
It's very good professional practice, and it has the potential to be absolutely amazing. The concept is fantastic, the traffic, the flow, exactly what you're saying, Peter. But it's, as a wedding photography category, you know, the posing is very clumsy, if at all. And I don't think the printing's great. I think there's sort of the burning's been done a little bit clumsily. I would love to have given this a higher mark, and I'm really happy to listen, but because, you know, the concept is there.
I'm looking for a positive, someone to talk on the positive. Yeah.
I think that there's a certain amount of creativity that's gone on that we don't see as often with the choice of using a longer exposure for the traffic and having the couple standing there. I don't mind their pose. They're holding hands. They're looking at each other. I mean, it could be a little more polished, but they're connected. They're not looking away from each other. They're looking at each other's eyes. I do agree. It's a little bit dark in the centre, and we lose a lot of detail of the texture of the rock formation or the stuff that they're standing on. But the shape and the movement of the traffic and everything, I think, takes it above professional practice. I think it could be printed better, but I still believe it's at least a silver award in terms of creativity.
Yes, 82. Yeah, so it is sitting in the 82. Pete's after, he's scored at 88. He's after a silver distinction. Rebecca, you did score at 85. Is there anything that you've got to add in support of Peter's argument for a distinction?
Well, yeah, pretty much everything that Pete said. But I actually really like this couple. I think the couple suits the image. You know, he is a bit cooler, he's a bit more grungy, and so the pose isn't overly lovey, but maybe the image isn't overly lovey, so it's not a passionate pose, but it's not a passionate photo. It's more, it's a very cool photo, so I think their pose matches that.
Thank you. And Peter, your right of reply.
Yeah, well, taking everything on board, what everyone said, and, printing-wise, sure, I do admit it's not the best print in the world, but it's not the worst either. There's not that really much that holds it back, okay? So I'm really looking at this as silver distinction as opposed to an 82, okay? I really think it really needs to be up there over that 85 and reward the person for thinking outside the box, doing something different, okay? So I'm not asking for a gold, I'm just asking for a silver distinction.
Well, thank you, Peter. You will hold your score at 88, and I'll invite the panel to rescore. Oh, so close, Pete. 84. But, that's... I'm sure the entrant will have benefited from that debate. So that was brilliant and well challenged, and good work by the panel. Okay, next print, please. Just reminding everyone to get their entry into Epson so that they can get that lucky door prize. There's a few prizes within that you could win. And all you have to do is match the sponsors with the categories. And I'm letting you know right here and right now that this wedding category is sponsored by Nikon. So you can add that to the list. And then just add your name, phone number, and you could be a winner. And this entry has scored 79. Yes. We've got two of you in the 80s, but there's not enough of a 5-point gap to challenge. So,
I
Anna,
know. And you know what a shame. I just want to say that this is a beautiful, beautiful facial expression from this man who loves his bride. And we all come in different shapes and sizes and ages and everything. And just, love is conquering all here. And I think that's fantastic. And it's just been shot like in a more of a photojournalistic way. No one's trying to pretend they're anything other than they are. And I think it's very refreshing.
okay, any feedback for the entrant apart from the fact that, yeah, it's great mood.
I thought this was a silver. As before I said, the last one was a silver distinction. This one is definitely a silver. It's well printed. It's got that wonderful look, even though the hand is a bit of the chook's foot, but it still is just a quirky enough, and it is still of a professional standard. So that's why I reckon it's just a solid silver.
Don't forget, Pete, that, that's why we do have professional standard with the 78, 79. So if you really think something's into silver, let's give it a good 84 so that we can, get that challenge happening. But, yeah, still 79, good professional practice and, yeah, and some great comments too. Oh, okay. And we're going to turn our volume up a little bit because it's down. Oh, is it deafening? It's deafening us. Oh, my voice is resounding everywhere. Who would have thought it? Okay, so we're turning the volume down. I hope the people on the live stream land, I haven't been deafening you all. Okay, we're ready. Next print, please. Okay, the entry has scored 84, a silver award. Okay, I'll accept that score and invite a comment from, Steve Wise. Thank you, Steve.
Thought this was done really nicely. I gave it 86. It's rare we're seeing the really shallow depth of field works beautifully. The background's just that little bit soft that they are brought so far forward, and their posing and their expression and the hand on the jacket suit. This is their place. Very old school. Very old school. It could have been shot on film. It reminds us of the old 5.4 sort of camera. So well done to the entrant.
Yes, you can say something, Pete.
Yeah, I scored this 88, and I was sort of quite surprised that it hasn't got up there, and it's a shame. And I'd say to the author, it's a beautiful print. It's really well printed, and I'd pursue with it.
Yeah, that is always the thing with 84s. Something that has scored really solidly into that silver range really you have to be able to challenge, you would have to have scored at 89, which is, yeah. Well, Peter, you've scored at 88, which is a solid score for sure. Okay, I'll do a judge change now. If Diane, if you could have a little break, and Nathan Madigan, if you could join us on the panel. Okay, next print, please. Okay, and the printer scored 82, a silver award. And we've got a challenge from Anna Blackman. Now, Anna, you have scored at 87. Just to let you know, you do have company.
Okay.
You have Peter on 84, Rebecca on 82, and then 2 on 78.
Look, I just want to have a quick talk about this, because I think what you might not be seeing is that the veil is in the shape of a heart. And I think that's a really quirky, lovely thing that's happened there. And maybe it just looks like, you know, a lot of veil, but it's in the shape of a heart. And I think that there's been a lot of effort put in to, you know, think of something different, think of a veil shot that's really going to work. So, you know, I'm applauding the photographer for actually taking something like this and working it. And I think that I'd like to hear from some other people.
Okay. Steve or Nathan, you've scored at 78, either of you?
I think the working it is what got me. I hit it on high professional standards. Clearly this photographer knows what they're doing. They got this down. They're like good at doing the textures, the layers, the tones, the everything. But the working, I can see repetitions in that veil to make it a heart. The story feels like it's about the veil. I'm seeing tonal loss around the bride's hands, one of them lacking in vibrance and colour, and the other one just different colouring again. The story seems to be about the veil. Technicals at the top, there's some really great leading lines that would draw you into the picture, but it's just kind of a muddy blob. So clearly this photographer knows what they're doing, but just those little technicals I'm spotting first, and so I just push this into high professional, but silver award, I'd like to see those little bits cleared up.
Okay. Pete, you were on 84.
To me, this is, you know, I thought was a good solid silver, so I thought I'd award it that. I didn't pick up the heart thing, and thanks for pointing that out, Anna, but technically the print is really good. I like it, and I think the posing and everything is good. There's happy smiles on the couple's faces, everything like that, and I'm going to come up.
Out of reply. Thank you, Anna.
So it's all about the veil. So what? You no idea how important veils are to brides. I mean, I love a veil. And I can't see a repetitiveness in the veil. I can't see where, you know, anything that looks cloned. I think the leading lines, the print is printed. There's a couple little things, but printed pretty well. The light from the lamp is working. They've worked that light, so they're going with the natural light and the lamp light. I'd really like to see it get more than 82. 82 isn't saying enough, considering, the quirky, happy, heartfelt feel of this image, in my opinion.
Okay, you'll hold your score at 87. Anna's looking for a distinction, and I'll ask the panel to rescore. Oh, and the entry has moved up to 84. Almost a silver distinction. So a silver award. Yeah. It sure does. Okay. Now just do another judge change. Rebecca, thank you for your great judging. Erica, are you okay to join us on the panel? Erica Serena. Okay, next print, please. And the entry has scored 79. Yes, so no room to challenge. And okay, some feedback for the entrant. Anyone offering something that maybe they can work with to bring it up for APA?
Look, the lighting is beautiful, but there's a little bit too much highlight on the dress and the shirt. So make the lighting more about the faces. I'd reprint, maybe try different paper, maybe something a bit warmer too. But certainly it's divine expressions, and you just keep going with that. You've really got something nice. Love it.
Excellent. Thanks, Anna. Okay, next print, please. Okay, and we have an 81, a silver award with a challenge from Steve Wise. Thanks, Steve. Just letting you know that you have Nathan on 84 and Anna on 80 and Erica and Pete in the high 70s.
Okay, this is a lot. This is a nice and different, isn't it? It's more contemporary. We don't have to have. I mean, just the graphical nature of the lights coming down. We've got them splitting right down the middle at their dead centre. we've got these guys in the spotlight like under a UFO, and they've got a really, I love their pose. It's a pose of strength between them. They look like they're just about to go into a tango or some sort of wedding dance. There's detail in the dress, so we've got all the detail in the girl's dress. He hasn't been lost in the blackness of the background. We can just see the outside of his suit as well. But we're working with a lot of negative space here and a really clever design for a wedding shot. It's not a lovey-dovey wedding shot. It's a beautifully graphical, contemporary style wedding photo that I think works on many levels. And I think it deserves to. What is it sitting on at the moment? 81. So it deserves to go up higher than just a silver. I'd love to see everyone come up and have a into silver.
Okay. Yeah, through the chair, please. Okay. Erica, you scored at 77. Was there anything you'd like to say?
I agree with Steve. That's what I loved about the image, is that it's really modern. I have no issues with the fact that they're not in a lovey-dovey pose, etc. But just those really harsh shadows on the groom, that vertical shadow going right below his nose, I found really distracting, and I do wish that there was just that tiny little bit of connection between the two of them, even if they were just subtly holding hands. Just something that it just feels like there's a bit of a disconnect. But for everything that you said, I also loved it. The lines, the harsh contrast, etc.
Nathan, you were very close to the distinction at 84.
Yeah, I'm really glad you challenged this, Steve. I think that the photographer was actually quite courageous with this choice of pose, and also quite intuitive that what we've done here is taken a really noir kind of scene and have not made it lovey-dovey, because that wouldn't work. This is bold and noir, and they need to be facing off each other just like that. And so this really resonates with me. I think that the scene and the expression work for this, that the lack of connection is good, because this isn't romance so much as story, and the only connection we have is they're looking into each other's eyes, and it's a face-off, but they're together. So it's as if they're either challenging each other to be the best for each other, or being fully aware of where they're heading into an unknown. And all the graphical elements here just align to really tell that story. So I feel like every potential fault or slice of light and dark in this is actually empowering it into a silver distinction range. So I would like to come up with you, actually, Steve.
Okay, right of reply, Steve. Steve, yeah.
I think Nate's hit it on the head there, the film noir feel of this, and it's the connection's kind of in that disconnect. I know that's a bit of an oxymoron, but it is a face-off. It's them. I just feel like they're just about to launch into this awesome dance. They're spotlit, kind of with those lights coming down. There's obvious, and the harsh light is that kind of look. It's never going to be a soft light, but it's sort of the dramatic pose is echoed in the dramatic lighting. But we do see expression. We can see their faces. They're looking at each other. They've got a very strong pose, and they're just about to launch into bloody life as. What are those gangsters? Bonnie and Clyde. That's yeah. It's really well crafted. This is a really beautifully crafted photo. So, thanks, Anna. So come up.
Okay, Steve's after a silver distinction, so he'll hold his score on 86. And as the scores wing their way in, we have a solid silver distinction at 86. With all our judges moving up into the distinction range. Well done, and good challenging, Steve, and great debate. Okay, next print, please. Okay, and the entry has scored 85, but 84 by majority, so a silver award. And we have a challenge. Peter Hassan, 92. Okay, so up, Pete. Hold your horses, honey. Okay, I've got to let you know that you have a couple of judges on 84. You have Anna on 86, Pete, you're on, and Erica on 79. Okay, take it away.
This is a superb print. There's only one little thing I'll fault about this print is the tiny little bit of white on the glass, but it's telling the story and the repetition of the stairs and everything. There is just so much graphics there. It is unbelievable. And this is the bride and groom saying, "Good night, guys, we're off." Okay, and this is what it's saying to me, and we're off up to the bridal suite. Is basically where we're going. I'm taking my bride and we're going off. You know, this is it. You know, and the printing is superb. It is just beautiful. Apart from that one little bit of white, you've got the rest of the bridal party down there in conversation, everything. The flow with the veil and the way that he's got a hand and they're going off, it just leads me up the stairs and up and up and up. And the graphics in there are superb, the lighting's superb, and the printing's superb. If it wasn't for that bit of white on that window, I'd be doing 95.
Thanks, Pete. Erica, you scored it at 79. Is like to comment?
I'm not feeling much from the bride and groom. Everything that Pete just mentioned, I absolutely love. The shapes, etc. I won't repeat everything he's already said, but it just looks like such a static image. There's nothing between the bride and groom. That's what stopped me from taking it higher, unfortunately.
4.
Yeah, Pete, I'm there with the printing. I'm there with the composition, the leading lines in the stairs and the sort of coming down into the bottom. I'm actually there with Erica too, though. I find there a huge disconnect between the bride and the groom, down to the fact that he's not holding hands with her side by side. He's got the wrong hand holding her, so he's kind of leading her off. There's no connection. I don't know. There's no connection between them, and we're off. It's like he's dragging her up the stairs. I'd hate to be harsh about it, but he's got it. It's not like they were walking side by side. He's got the other hand dragging her along, and I would have loved to have seen him looking back, maybe at the bride, something like that. I mean, I believe it's a shot that it just doesn't seem. It's not convincing enough for me to go up into that range. It's exceptional, though.
Yeah. Anna, you were sort of up there on 86.
Yeah, well, I really think it deserves a silver distinction. It's I love the Escher quality, where sometimes the stairs look like they're going up and sometimes they look like they're going down. And yes, the disconnect between the bride and groom. There's a groom saying, "Come on, our wedding night, let's do it." And the bride's sort of like, "Yeah, I want to go and play with my friends. I'm not sure. Oh my God, I'm a virgin." You don't know. It's not always, it's not always about, "Yeah, let's get to the bedroom." So I kind of think it's sort of like, yeah, he's dragging her away from where she wants to go, or she's a bit reticent or a little bit scared of the wedding night. But the Escher quality, I choose a different paper stock. It's a little bit sort of flat. I think it needs a little bit more. But I can definitely see what you're saying, but there's another way to read it. And I'd love to see it get a silver distinction.
Yeah, right of reply.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's enough room there for them to be along side by side, and I think this is sort of going back to a primal type of thing of where you used to club the bride over the head and drag her off by the hair, and that's basically what he's doing, to me, I reckon this is just superb. It is just, something different. You're coming with me, darling. Let's go now.
Beautiful. And with that, let's go into our, yeah. Pete wants a gold. He's on 92. The score is sitting on 84. And invite the judges to rescore. And the entry has scored a silver distinction, 87. Congratulations to the entrant. And next print, please. And the entry has scored 79. Some feedback, Steve. Thank you.
I think it's a nice series. There's obviously 3 different poses happening there. Just for the photographer to be careful when we've got 3 precise frames, that the symmetry is perfect between the images. There's a little bit of disconnect from one to the other. It's not quite symmetrical, or the lines aren't quite meeting between the frames. Just to watch that, but good professional practice photos. Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Now, let's just do another judge change. Peter, you've been with us for quite a while. If you have a little rest. And Diane DeRay. Diane, are you okay to join us on the panel? Welcome, Diane, to the panel. And next print, please. Okay, we have entry has scored 81 but 79 by majority. And we have a challenge from Steve. I'll accept your challenge, Steve. Just to let you know that Erica is there with you in the silver range. And then we've sort of got 80, the 79s and 78s to work with.
I think it's easy to disregard this a little quickly. I think it's going to be nice to be able to have a look at it for a little bit longer. Again, it's a more contemporary style of photo, but after looking at it for a little bit, it's a huge narrative there of a very, very nervous bride. The pose that she's got, she's unsure. If you look at her face, it's quite a pensive sort of look. The fact that we've just got black all around her and the negative space at the top and to the side places her by herself. I think that's a frame of mind perhaps that she's got at the moment. She's feeling or alone. And she's not even sure whether she's going to be reaching for a dress or not. And if you have a look at her expression, it's not a comfortable expression in her pose, and she's unsure, and it's the awkward angle of her body. She's looking down at her dress that's disappearing off into the blackness as well. So there's a narrative around the, I guess, the ominous loneliness that she's just not sure. She's feeling quite pensive about this whole wedding thing. So I think it's a beautifully crafted image. There's beautiful detail through her dress, her veil coming down, but her expression and her hand placement is perfect, and I think telling quite a strong story. What is it on?
It has, we're on 79.
Because it's a fairly brave sort of way to frame a bride, and it's not all about the happy feeling of a wedding day. This bride is feeling quite nervous and alone and pensive, and just the way her expression and her body language. So I'd like us to have a chat about it if possible.
Well, we are going to do that, that's for sure. Anna and Nathan, you're both on 78. Anna, yeah, I'll invite you to...
There's a lot of potential energy here rather than kinetic. Like she's about to do something, but she's hesitating, and I don't mind that. And you see, I think it is brave. I would have liked to see even more black space on the right-hand side, and make it square, like even more over there to put her in the bottom third corner. I think that would have made it even more interesting. So no problem with all the black. It just, the facial expression is you're working on me, but the facial expression is sort of like it's not worried or happy. It's a little bit maybe deer in the headlights, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's what's so special about it.
You wanting to talk in support of the print?
Yeah, well,
Yep.
since I'm on 78, which I thought was, I had some reservations. I'm appreciating this conversation. My reservations were around the feel of this whole image, because normally this kind of look, you'd get this dramatic, beautiful, soft, preemptive pose to a day, all of those kind of things. So this is courageous for the photographer to choose this moment to celebrate and to freeze. And I think we need to consider slowly why this is in front of us, and why curate to this particular image. And when I'm doing that, I'm just appreciating it a bit more. She feels a bit like a mannequin in terms of the pose. It's halfway between something, and I can't tell whether that's a good point or a bad point. It's just the feeling I have. And so everything Steve says, I can resonate with. I lost it a bit on the detail of the arms, the highlights on the dress. If this is going to APA, please don't be done with this image yet, photographer. There's more in this that we can just kind of sharpen up. But, I don't want this to end up outside awards range now that we've talked about it. So I'm going up a little bit.
And your reply. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, guys. I mean, there's some great advice for the photographer. A little bit of space in front of her would add to that isolation and that and the mannequin look. And it is a deer in the headlights, and that's exactly what I'm thinking. She is not sure. She's unsure. She's midway through a move, and I think it's the perfect expression of her headspace at this very time. And for someone to see that in this, the photographer's made a conscious decision to use this as one of their photos. So I think there's a lot more there. I put it up at 86. I think it actually should be a silver distinction. It stands out for me from a lot of the stuff we've been looking at. So it has to go into silver at the very least.
Okay, so Steve is after a silver distinction. 86 is his score. He'll hold that. And I'd invite our judges to rescore, please. Woo. And the entry has scored 84, silver award. Whew. And that was some solid talk on that. And well done, Steve, for your challenge there. Okay, well done to the entrant. And next print, please. Okay, let's get those scores in, judges. Entry has scored 85, silver with distinction. Woo! Okay, and solid scoring all the way across the board, judges. Wow. So everyone was pretty positive. Any feedback?
Yeah,
Nathan.
I'd give feedback. Each of these single images are really strong as a really great documentary image, and each of them standalone are really great. But could it be bigger? Could we turn it? I'm not sure. I guess I should consult others, but I think they could be larger for me to really read the story. There's a lot of people, a lot of characters. They're all really great. Maybe bleed it right to the edge if it's a vertical portrait, or even flip it horizontal and put it even bigger. Just try out some of those options because each of those images are strong.
Comment from Anna.
Just quickly, I wonder if the one in the middle should be cropped a little more on the right and the top. You'd still get everything because the way the building's leaning over, it's a little bit sort of jarring. So you could crop down just that so you didn't see the back of the guy with the white shirt and a little bit less of the sky and you get more in on the action. Just worth a try.
Yeah, some good things for the photographer to have a look at for sure. Okay, we'll move ahead, forge ahead. Next print, please. Entry has scored 84, silver award. Everyone solidly in the silver range. Diane, you scored at 86. So
Yeah, I really enjoyed this image. To me, I don't know, it says something about the fragility of humanity or something, I think. I'm sort of reading them like they're in a little canoe or something and they're floating along life. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's really well done. I love the black and white. I think that's just, yeah, it's really added to the photo. So well done to the author.
beautiful. Okay. Next print, please. entry has scored 79. A couple of our judges in the 80 range. Any comment? Yeah, Steve, thank you.
The couple are really well lit, maybe a little overlit. The light's also hitting that flower on the left-hand side, so that's standing out. And the line label and the candles are a touch bright in the front, and there's the light in the back on the wall. It's a very busy image, and my eyes sort of darting all over the place. So it could be finessed a little bit more, just to soften them off and not have them so brightly lit. So yeah.
Okay, and we'll just have a judge change. Steve, you've been with us for quite a while. Thank you so much for that awesome judging. So Steve will take a break. Rebecca, can you jump into Steve's chair? Good. And next print, please. And entry has scored 77. So we're all sitting in that good professional practice range. Yeah, Anna.
This is a great location to shoot in. I think it's definitely worth doing again. But the backlight, it needs to be stronger, the backflash, because at the moment it's just enough to light up their nostrils. And if it was stronger, you'd get a little bit of the detail on the dress, which would be a comment to Rosa the dressmaker. So if you can use this spot again, do it and, work with it.
Good. Thanks, Anna. Great comments. Okay. Next print, please. And the entry has scored 75. Okay. You just have a comment is good. Yep.
The actual posing and the picture itself is really quite lovely, and you can see, the Beauty and the Beast tattoo and the skull cufflink and all of that says a lot about the couple. And I think it's overkill. It's like trying to tell us a whole lot more when we don't need to be told. So I think it's really, great to have a concept and idea, but the idea is taken away from the pose and the people themselves.
Okay, good. Thanks, Anna. Okay. And we'll ask for the next print. Thank you. And we have a score of 76. So it's in the professional practice range. Di? Yep.
This is a really hard moment to capture, so well done to the photographer because we're really right in the middle of that professional practice range. Just 2 comments. One is that this print is extremely big and the photo's not possibly shot on a higher ISO, but it's not quite, the quality's not quite there for the size of it. And also the contrast is really lacking, so we don't really have any whites, so could possibly look at that.
Okay, next print, please. Okay, we have a silver award at 81 and a challenge. Do we have a challenge for Nathan? 88. Wow. Take it away. That you have Anna on 80, Rebecca 83, and then a 76 and a 79.
Awesome, thank you. Well, 88, I really wanted this in distinction range. The beauty of this image is that it is believable. That it is absolutely, this isn't a stage posing for the camera shot so much as they are in their moments. They are literally, oh gosh, I used the word literally. I apologise to every writer out there. They're doing that. They're smoking, they're enjoying it, and they're with each other, and they're making connections. There's eye contact. Each of these faces are telling their story. There's the disconnected character on the far left. There's the I'm over it already, second from left. The 2 on the other side, they're generally connecting over their cigar. They're enjoying it. And then the winner, the kicker of this shot, is our groom, right front and centre, owning it. If we had to pose this in the bad light of the middle of the day, we'd have to get our model to look up into the light, face the light, get the lighting right. He's doing it. He's nailing it so that we've got this kind of aggressive, owning it kind of image, boys club. Technically, it's really, really exceptional. So this is ticking a lot of boxes for a silver distinction. I'd love to have a chat about it with everyone.
Erica, you're on 76. A comment? You don't have to. Anna, you're on 80, so you're sort of you just slid in there for you.
I'm seeing what you're seeing, but I think that I feel that it's been overworked. It's quite muddy, and I think sometimes you just don't change too much. Don't over-sharpen, don't darken too much, don't change too much. That's why, yes, I think it's definitely with a silver, and I think worked a little bit differently would have really helped it. That's all.
No, that's awesome. Okay. Did anyone else want to talk in support of the print before we ask Nathan to... it actually scored 81, a silver award, but Nathan is after a silver distinction. He's on 88. Okay, Nathan, right, a reply.
Look, I think this has been worked, and it has been subtly and beautifully worked. Nothing is over sharp. If anything, the photographer has pulled back some of the glaring, crazy light of a midnight reception. This will be a dark, dark room, but there is a beautiful tone in every single face and in every single hand. You can see what they're drinking. You can see the awkward handhold or the comfortable handhold. You can read so much about every single character. And even the cropping, we've got socks. Have you seen those excellent socks that this toughest guy on the left is wearing? They're kind of like a cartoon meme character that just says somebody dressed him. And he's tough, but he's also not. So I think the technicals are actually treated very, very beautifully, and all the lines are straight. Every one of those frames, they're telling a story. They're not overdoing it. I think everything leads into this lead character, and he's not too sharp, but he's got all his details, and he's the harshest light. It's a very, very beautiful image. I really would love to see this above 85.
Thanks, Nathan. You hold your score on 88, and we'll invite our panel to rescore, please. And we have a majority 84, a silver award. Well worth the talk, though. Yep, good work. And congratulations to the entrant. Okay, next print, please. And the printer scored 81, silver award. Good solid judging there, judges. Any comment for the entrant? Nathan?
I just enjoyed that in this silhouette shot, there's a surprising amount of identity on each of these guys' faces. You can see a lot about them, and I really enjoyed that. The back wall did nothing for me, so I don't know what to do about that. Even a tight crop to just that center silhouette could be really strong.
Thanks, Nath. We'll do a judge change. Erica, you've been with us for quite a while. If you could have a little rest. And Peter Hassan, if I could get you into that number 1 spot, where you're nice and close to me. Yeah, so that I'm in striking range. Good. Okay. Eyes forward, and we're ready. Next print. Thank you. Right, let's get those scores in, judges. Okay. The entry has scored 88 as silver with distinction. And I think someone has, yeah, I'll take your challenge, Nathan, because you have scored at 92. Now, just to let you know, if you hadn't worked out already, Anna is on 91. Diane, you're on 88. And yeah, so we've got an 86 and an 82 to work with as well.
Look, it's the tragedy of being a wedding photographer is that you can very rarely take one of your images and put it on your own wall and be proud of it. They go to your clients' walls. They go up big and proud on their walls. You can't put that on your own wall. This image, this is art enough to be able to put at any size on any wall in any building in the world, and it is beautiful and it is arresting and it keeps you playing through the lines for a long, long time. So I award the photographer for such a courageous angle of thinking on this. So in terms of concept, that's beautiful and unique, and I really enjoy it. It is completely photographic. We've got polarizing opposites. We've got a negative and a positive image, so it's beautiful. The choice of pose for this bride is really exceptional. She's got specific elements which really define her, including the details in her dress, the flower, the bouquets, her lashes, her hair, her chin, her expression, and a lot of detail has been, a lot of attention has been paid to these things. So even as a portrait, this is a really strong image. So I'll shut up for a little bit and let everyone else talk, but I really think this deserves a gold, belongs in that region.
Okay, thanks, Nathan. I'll get back to you in a minute, Anna. Rebecca, you're sort of kicking around 82.
I struggled with how to judge this one. I just sort of sat there, and I think I probably was a bit harsh. I suppose, if I'm looking at it just as an art piece, it is beautiful. I suppose, the narrative for wedding was maybe what was holding me back, but maybe I shouldn't be so close-minded.
Yeah. Okay, Pete, you are sitting on 86.
Yeah, I really struggled with this as well too, because I was looking at it, and what you see is there are a lot of things in there happening, a lot of graphics, but there's a lot of mistakes as well, like the piece of hair coming out the back, going through one of the grids, and it's the only one, the eyes closed. So I really struggled with it to... it's not perfect, okay? But then I thought, well, being not perfect could be a plus. But then when I saw all the other graphical lines were basically perfects, I really struggled with that imperfection there to be a big bad blob. And for me, I was brave enough to go up to the 86, but I don't think I'll go any further with it.
Di, you are on 88.
Yes, I'm hovering around. I don't think that bit at the back is hair. I think that's the veil, Pete. So it does naturally actually stick out the back of your head. That's how veils sit. If you don't have your hair up, they just don't sit that well, and that's a whole other story. The bit above her head is the bit that bothers me, where the lines have got like a little line through them. There's a little vertical line through the horizontal lines, and that's really what I took my couple of points off and took me out of gold. But I'm listening, and I think it's beautiful. I mean, as a wedding photographer, I don't see very many things that actually make me stop and go, wow, this is really different. And so, yeah, just keep talking, and maybe I'll just forget about that tiny imperfection.
Anna, you are up in the gold range as well. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it takes me back to a dark room when you're doing test strips, you know. And so you've got the negative, positive, negative, positive. But when you look at it, they're not all exactly negative, positive, negative, positive. There's a few little extra things going on in there. You know, they've mucked around with it. They haven't just stayed with that. And some of the negative parts, some of the little bits of the flowers, you know, they're messing with your head, and which is great. But the detail in all the things a bride wants, her beautiful makeup, those lashes are divine, the hair, the flowers, the lace on the dress, you are still getting everything a bride would ever want, plus you are getting a fine art portrait. It is just divine.
Nathan.
Yeah, thanks, guys. These are really good points you brought up. That horizontal line isn't just above her head, it goes all the way across, which simply says that the bride was at her house getting ready in the morning, and in the background there is a line, and also the photographer shot straight because it's an even horizontal line. So that's credit to the photographer for the individual capture. Beck, narrative of weddings. I really love that you said that, because in this image alone is so much narrative about the wedding, and I've already touched on those points about the dress she chose, about the hair she did, about the lashes, the bouquet. There's so much, the expression on her face leading into the day. In terms of mistakes, yes, it's a veil, not hair. But Pete, I love that you pointed out that her eyes are closed. What I notice even more with her eyes closed is that I can feel the emotion of this entire pose with those eyes closed, and what I'm seeing is both a confidence and a peace, and that's not always the case when we shoot a bride getting ready. Sometimes there's fear or trepidation. In this case, I'm seeing confidence, peace, strength, even when surrounded by the chaos of positive and negative lines. So I'm really appreciating the depth of narrative in here as well, and this definitely belongs in gold range. I would love it to be a very, very high gold range, to be honest. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Nathan. You hold your score at 92, and I invite our panel to rescore. And we have a gold award, 91. Wow. Great work and good solid judging, and I can't wait to get up close and have a look at that image. I can't quite see it from here. So, and well done to the entrant, and some fantastic debate again. Okay, is Steve Wise back in the room? Steve, yeah. Steve, are you ready to come back on the panel? Or yeah, Anna, can you just have a little break, Anna? Yeah. Oh dear. So Anna Blackman's been on the panel for over an hour. Our interstate judge, we do work them hard, but we do give them a little break every now and then, just because we're so nice here in the West. Okay. Eyes forward. Next print, please. We're judging the wedding open category, sponsored by Nikon, and just waiting for the scores to be entered. And we have a score of 76. Okay, so all the judges agree it is in that good professional practice range. Do we have a comment to the photographer? Diane, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say well done to the photographer. I think this is really extremely high professional practice. So, you know, you've got a bride wearing a beautiful dress in a lovely location, and yeah, I'm sure that the couple was really thrilled with this photo.
good. Thanks, Di. Okay, next print, please. Okay, and we have a score of 78. And all our judges are in that good professional practice range. A comment? Yeah, Pete.
Yeah, it's a nice little setup. It's reasonably well printed and what have you, but for me, you're missing a bouquet for a start. You're missing a bouquet for a start, and bouquets are basically a, what would you call it for a bride, an accessory or a accessory. To me, it is a good print, but it just doesn't come to life for me. And I think that's, basically what we're looking at here.
Yeah, just very quickly, everything Pete said, if we removed the music and the one picture frame behind that bride and then stood up half a foot, we'd probably have a really well isolated subject there, and that would probably add to that composition. Great expression. As a photographer, they've really nailed this mood for the bride, I reckon.
That's good. Okay, next print, please. Okay, and entry is scored 86, but 84 by majority, a silver award. I think we've got a challenge here. Yes, Peter Hassan, 96. Okay, Pete, just to let you know that you have some support here. We have Di on 87, and then we have a couple of 82s and an 83. Okay, over to you.
Wow, the delicacies in this print are just absolutely beautiful, and the graphics of it all are stunning. And to me, I don't know were down there. This is just totally thinking outside the box, and there was a couple of little things that I took points off for, but I really had to look again and again, and I just found it flawless. And the positioning of everything it's just delicately beautiful and lovely. Yeah, and hence why I'm giving it a gold with distinction.
It's actually an automatic challenge because it's 10 away. So, sorry, Pete, you don't get a right of reply. I should have let you know that before. But that was such a compelling, yeah. You can change your score. Yeah. You scored at 96 and majority 84. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, Di, I will get back to you. I've got Steve and Nathan sort of kicking around that 82. Yeah, let's all talk.
I kind of jump in. I'm an 82. I don't want to talk the print down, Pete. I'm wary of giving a gold or a gold distinction to a print that's suffering from what looks like a little bit of softness through lack of resolution. I'm looking at the bride, and then it's not a clean and sharp image, especially of her. When we're talking about gold and gold distinctions, I want superb sharpness of line, and not. There's a little bit of muddiness around the skin and around the face. Her pose is great. I do appreciate the design of the image, but I'm not seeing any narrative around the choice of design of the image, if that makes sense. If someone else can enlighten me on that, I think it's a great idea, and it's thinking outside the box, which is why I gave it an 82. I just believe it's suffering a bit in the actual print. It's a little bit muddy and not sharp.
Nathan, did you have anything to add to, yeah, Rebecca, perhaps you don't have to talk if you haven't got anything to add. Okay, Nathan?
Yeah, I'll definitely add it. Look, this from a distance is structural but fun. This is a dance. And so when I come up close, I want to see that reflected in the bride. And what I'm seeing is if anything, it looks like a scowl, like it's a very severe kind of face to the side, like elite kind of almost angry expression. It doesn't quite match what I'm feeling about the overall image. So I'm not quite sure about the communication. And then arguably that's not the most flattering pose for the bride herself. And then there's just some, like, I don't know if that's a strap over her shoulder or her hair, but if we're talking about gold, then I'd be wanting to polish up those things. And I'd love to see this kind of worked, or if one of the many shots that were taken from that angle. I feel like the energy and the emotion isn't matching the character in the shot to the rest of the shot, in my opinion. So yeah, I struggled with that, and I thought this has got to be awarded an award. But gold will be a tricky one.
Moment. Diane, we would love to hear from you. You've scored at 87.
Yeah, look, when this first came up, I absolutely loved it. The thing that really... I'm on 87, so I don't know, maybe I was slightly on the fence, but I love that. To me, she looks like a swan, and the dress looks like feathers. That's what I like about it, and I actually really love that. With her head turned to the side and the dramatic pose, because I think the whole thing is really dramatic. So, yeah, I don't think that a softer face or pose would have worked. I mean, we've got the 4 repetitive squares, so, you know, it's extremely geometric. So, yeah, that's what I read into the dress. It looks like feathers to me, and particularly from far away, the lace looks very feathery, and, yeah, it just brought a little bit of a... what's the technical word for birds? Can't remember what it is, but... author something or other. Anyway, that's what I read into it. But I do agree that there is a lack of detail in her face, and that is why I think if you know, if there was a little bit more detail on her, then I would have been in the gold. So yeah, I was just sort of hovering around there. So really, I think it's over a silver. You know, we've talked about it this much. I think, you know, if I had taken this at a wedding, I'd be absolutely stoked. You know, I think this is more than just, hang on, let me get my sheet out. You know, superior visual communication, imagination, craft, and skill. You know, I think it's superior for sure. It's not a standard silver. It's yeah, it's one step beyond that, in my opinion.
Beautiful. Well done, Di. And sum that up perfectly too. Okay. Are you all able to rescore? And entry has scored 88. Silver with distinction. Well done. Good challenge. And, you know, the score's lifted from 84 to 88. So, yeah, be a very happy entrant out there. Well done. Okay. And next print, please. Wedding open. And we are now into the single capture. Woohoo! How about that, hey? Well, I'm going to take this chance to do a little judge change. Rebecca, if you could have a rest now. And Erica, if I could see you on the panel. Is Anna still having a break? Well deserved. Yes, we'll leave her there. Good. Okay. Let's move along. And next print, please. We are judging the wedding single capture. So this is the single capture and we are sponsored by Nikon. Nikon. I love my Nikon camera. That is for sure. And we have a score of 75. Okay, everyone is in that good professional practice range. Any comment? Steve?
Yeah, good professional practice, really well balanced fill flash to the background, which was quite bright, but the flash is quite harsh as well. So it's flattened them out a bit, and we've got a pretty harsh shadow, you know, on the wall there. So they could just be refined a little bit, I think, in the shoot.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Next print, please. Okay, the entry has scored 85, but 84 by a majority, so a silver award, and his hand flies up. Nathan has scored at 89, just to let you know that Peter is sitting very close by at 88. Then we have a couple of 83s and an 81. Okay, go.
All right, I gave it an 89 because I really believe this sits in silver distinction for so many reasons. Sometimes you get, an idea spoon-fed to you, and you're just like, oh, seriously? This is an obvious story. So this perspective is not that, which is a nice, refreshing image for me. We know everything about every character in this image in terms of personality. We're told a lot. Every one of the bridesmaids, groomsmen, they've got some style. I love that there's movement. This isn't a stage, let's stand there and wait for the photographer to shoot from up high. So there's a nice natural documentary style about it. We learn a lot about the characters. There's speed bumps ahead. Good, great. If anyone's thinking about the cropping on the top or the bottom or anything like that, then let's consider the clash of old structures and new structures. Older, more free, creative structure versus newer but brutalist kind of structured structure. There's a lot going on, but it's all contributing to an image which at the end of the day is still very clean and understandable. So, I'm not asking for gold. I'm on 89. It's just under, but it's well worth a strong silver distinction. Love to hear more from you guys.
You're right up there with him, Pete, so I'll get you to reply in a jiffy. So down the other end, we've got either Di or Steve or Erica, you're on 81. Have you got any comment? Are we sort of... Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
What did it get? 84. 84. So that's a really strong silver. Something like this has a few elements that I'm hoping that are part of the narrative of why the photographer's chosen to shoot this. I really, really, really wish that the speed bumps were behind them, because that would have been an awesome story. Like, they got over that hump of obviously this style of marriage, and it can it's. I don't want them heading into speed. I don't want them heading into a rocky speed bumps. I want them over the other side, because we've got over that now. Everyone can get bloody married. So it is single capture, yep. But there's, I guess, the photographer has the choice of when they shoot it and how they shoot it. They've got control over that. Other than that, it's a great viewpoint. I want to bring the 10 in with the arrow. I can't find anything around the 10. I wish there were 10 people in it, or something like that. So I've got it a really strong silver. I think the composition's great. I don't mind the addition of those angled sections at the top. It kind of balances out the repetition at the bottom. Yep, they're all heading in the same direction. The bride's dresses are beautiful. I need something else to push me up. If the speed bump was behind them, I would have gone probably into gold.
Thanks, Steve. And Pete, you're in support?
Yeah, the speed bump in front to me is something that I actually like about it. There actually are speed bumps to come. The 10 is to me, if we just cropped the top down to the footpath, okay, I would have been in the gold range for this. I love the expressions. I love the guy with his hands thumbs through his braces, and it is a real character thing. Once you look into this, you see more and more. It's been beautifully handled, and yeah, for me, I thought a good solid silver distinction. If that bit had been cropped off that other side, I would have been 92.
Okay, and reply, Nathan.
Yeah, thank you. I think we're so close to a silver distinction, so hopefully we'll get there. I agree, the speed bump could be both sides, but it's powerful on both sides. I mean, we paint a picture of a wedding and it's all happy days. We've gotten married, the best years are in front of us. But truth is, there are speed bumps. Behind us, we've got an arrow saying, that is the way, go forward. That way, my friend, go slow. 10 kilometers an hour, please. Move slowly, my friends. That's the 10, yep. And speed bumps, there will be speed bumps. Chances are there'll be another set just in front, and there were some behind. it's not all roses. We're in an urban setting. Everything in there is structural and enjoyable for your eye to move around. We still rest on this couple, and they are the glowing point of hope, no matter the urban environment, the everyday setting, the speed bumps ahead. So I feel like there's a lot in this image that we can rest in and enjoy and come back to that hope right there in the lower third. And I really, just a couple of points and we've got a silver distinction.
Nathan, you'll hold your score on 89, and I'll invite our judges to re-enter their scores. And the entry has scored 87, silver with distinction. Well done. Once again, good challenging, great debate, and a happy photographer, I'm sure. Okay, next print, please. And the entry has scored 72. We're all sitting around the same score. Is there some feedback for the entrant? Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, it's a detail of the shoes. There's quite a few issues in terms of composition in the background with the poles running through the top of the frame and the building behind the couple, and they're sort of uncomfortably out of focus, I guess it is. And it's a large print. A lot of these can probably be a bit smaller. Yep.
Okay, good comment. Okay, next print, please. Next print. Okay, this entry has scored 74. I will need a comment. Diane?
Yes, well done for good professional practice. I think something that could improve this photo is possibly a little bit more softness with the couple. So you've got this very geometric background, but then the couple's also very static. So I think if there was something that you could do to soften the couple a little bit more and have a little bit more connection, then it would be a nice juxtaposition between them and the background. Also, the white wall on the right is not adding to the photo, so I would consider cropping that off.
Good, thanks, Di. Actually, Di, if you could have a rest now, just have a little break for a little while. Thank you. Good judging. And Anna, are you okay to rejoin us on the panel? Anna Blackman, our Eastern States photographer, all the way from Sydney. Sydney? And let's have our next print, please. We are judging the wedding single capture, and our sponsor is Nikon. in our West Australian Photography Awards 2019. Okay, scores please, judges. Whew. Entry has scored 81, but 79 by majority. And I think I might have a challenge or two. Nathan, I'll accept your challenge on 88. I'm just wondering, yes, I can accept that challenge. Yeah, good. I'll accept that. And just to let you know that you do have Erica on 85, and then we have some high 70s to deal with.
I'll try to talk more at the end than the beginning. I'm really interested in a team decision on what makes an awarded print. So I don't want to railroad anything here, but this is exceptional tonal quality all the way through. It's textural, it's detailed, the color palette is beautiful, it's smooth. It's a really soft bokeh image, except that we're not looking at the bokeh at all, because the leading character, if you squint and see the brightness, if you look with you open your eyes, it's the groom, and he is feeling something. You can see it. You can see that light on his bottom eyelid, that he's really feeling the weight of a wedding without his father. And I think this is beautifully done, especially as a single in-capture shot that remains authentic. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, everyone.
Nathan, I'd invite Pete. You've scored at 76.
Yeah, I didn't get the bit about the dad, okay, if it is his dad, okay. But the glaring thing for me, the glaring thing for me were the white highlights in that white circle bit around the second person in the photo and leading out to the shirt, which just really killed it for me. And the bit of softness around the flowers and what have you, to me, I'm just not really, I didn't get the connection with the dad. And for me, I think that highlight area is just way too much to be up in the silver distinction, so yeah, to me, yeah, I'm just sort of going to be hard pushed to get above 78. I think you're going to find me hard to get up there.
You've scored at 78.
I'm happy to talk about it. Like, I think there's a lot of wonderful things going on in here. The son and the dad. I would crop it more. I don't think we need all that left-hand side. And I would even go so far as to print it down more. I have a feeling that when this was printed, it wasn't looked at under the right lights, because even when I look at my screen, it's printed. It looks like it's printed down more, and it looks really fabulous. There is some sort of burning on the right-hand side of the picture that isn't fab. Get out of the way, you big bum. Yeah, it's hard to talk to a print when I can only see Peter's arse. Oh, I'm allowed to say that? Bottom. Yeah, where the picture of the dad, it's been burnt in a little bit, and I think if the whole thing was just a little bit darker, it would really, really, really give it a lot more strength, and just crop in on the left-hand side. But certainly as a single capture, it has been done beautifully, so I've been a little harsh.
Erica, you're sort of right up there in that distinction range with Nathan. Anything to say in support of the print?
Everything Nathan said. If anything, I actually would have gone into the gold category had it been printed a little better. I go to weddings all the time where there's photos of, you know, the people that are missing in your life. I may get emotional, sorry.
But on that, no, she's got another point. Good girl.
I've got more. Sorry. I haven't seen it done this well before, and I have been asked to photograph, you know, frames, etc., of family that's passed away. I certainly haven't been able to capture it this well. So, yeah, if anything, the printing and perhaps a little bit of cropping could have improved it even more for me to a gold standard.
And let's have your reply. Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not sure if cropping is required to change at all. We immediately see the point of interest. Our eyes all went directly there. Nobody hung around on the flowers just going, oh, that's a pretty flower. We were right there. We saw him. We're talking about highlights and softness and the technicals, and that's good. The photographer needs to hear all of this. One question is, how much weight do we give to the highlights in terms of a final score? One question is, what is an award-worthy image? What is professional practice? Where does this photographer land? Because the way this photographer has seen this and structured it, in order to get that emotion, you can't just say, look this way, turn into the light, and look serious. They must have either talked the groom through to an understanding of the day, or left him like that until he found that space. There's a lot more going on behind the scene. And my last question is, when you guys are looking at this, can you feel something? And if we can, then we can't sit in 79s, and arguably we can't sit in simple silvers. So there's a lot of questions. I gave it 88, which is a very strong silver distinction, because there's a lot going on in this, and it's not just professional practice, it's a high award. So please just access those hearts and see what you think.
Okay. You'll hold your score, Nathan. And ask our panel to rescore. Entry has scored 84, a silver award. Well done, judges. That was a tough one, and yeah, full points to the challenge too, Nathan. Well done. Okay, let's go. Next print, please. Okay, scores, please, judges. As the scores wing their way in, we have a 83, a silver award. I'll accept that score and ask for a comment from anyone. Steve.
I think it's called. What did it get? Sorry, 80. Yeah, that's good. She is exactly in the middle. Like the photographer's done an awesome job in getting this bride exactly in the middle. It's a little bit soft at the bottom of her dress. It's just the edge of the lens and the carpet. It's nice use of the high ceiling though, and yeah, don't crop it at all. And she's beautifully symmetrical. Her dress is beautifully symmetrical. And it's been printed really beautifully as well. So congratulations.
Great work. Okay, let's move on to the next print, please. And the entry has scored 75. And a comment from Anna?
Sometimes I think it's a really good idea not to shoot at like 5'4" or 160 centimetres. You know, think differently because those trees in the background are really distracting. Either you need to go high up, reach up, or go down under the dress. Just try and think outside the square, not just where you happen to be standing. There are some great expressions there, which is great, but just, you know, it just needs a little bit more to get it above professional standard.
Thanks, Anna. Okay, next print, please. And our printer scored 82, silver award. There was some good solid scores with this image. Any feedback to the entrant? Yeah? No?
Look, I'd love to see this black and white and just pulled down a little bit. It feels like a bright sunny day, and with all this architecture, I think it would add some really great elements to just get those highlights down and, you know, remove the colours.
Good, thanks, Nathan. And next print, please. And the entry has scored 76. We're all in that good professional practice range. Can I have a comment? Anna, thank you.
When you've got a silhouette, you've got to make the silhouette work for you as far as the emotion, because you can't see the emotion on the faces. So I think that a little bit more animation somehow in the silhouette would be a great idea. Leaning in, a foot popping out, you know, just something that gives you more energy.
Anna. And that is the last image for the wedding category. Oh, well done. Okay, thank you, judges. We will be having a short break and then we will be flying through into the illustrative category, I think. So I'll just check on that. Illustrative. We are doing illustrative? Yeah, okay. I'll call up the judges. So